When creating a new document in Adobe Illustrator, first you'll need to give the document a name. Next, choose a profile to suit your document. I'm going to go with video and film because the purpose of my illustration is going to be for animation. Artboards are similar to pages. I'm going to use just one artboard. You can add more artboards later on if you want. So these basically work in a similar way to pages, but each artboard can technically be a different size if you want it to be. For the size, I'm going to choose HD TV 1080 for my document size, as this is the standard size for HD video. The bleed is an area outside the edge of the page. This is mainly used for print, where you may want artwork to bleed off the edge of the page to compensate for any margin of error when printing. So I'm just going to click OK. So here's my blank document, and that includes both the title safe area in here, as well as the action safe area out here. Position your subject or any main points of interest within the title safe region. So titles are a prime example, which go in the title safe region, whereas the action safe region is more of a spillover, so any action should occur within this area here. And that's mainly because when viewed in a variety of old formats, especially old televisions, you might find that your screen's cropped slightly with video. Again, if you're doing a document for print or for web, the margins will be slightly different. This is just the guidelines for when doing illustration for video purposes. So let's explore the layout of Adobe Illustrator. If you're familiar with Photoshop, you'll notice there are some similarities in Illustrator. The main menu at the top of the screen contains familiar functions such as File, New, Open, etc., or Edit, Copy, Paste, so you can copy and paste any item on your work area. Next we have the Control panel down here. The Control panel displays options specific to the tool which you're currently using or currently have selected. The Tools panel contains the tools you'll be used for creating and editing your image. A full list of the tools available in Illustrator is available in the Useful Resources folder on this mole course. This main area here is the document window, which contains the artboard I'm currently working on. Down at the bottom we have the status area, which includes a quick way of zooming in and out, which can be very, very handy. So if you zoom right in, or you can fit to screen, etc., etc. And over to the right, we have the panel docking area. So this is where you'll find things like layers, which I've currently got open. You'll find different brush types for use with the brush tool. You'll find different colors, etc., etc. So the tools which you'll use the most often are things like the selection tool, which allows you to select entire objects, the direct selection tool, which is basically used for manipulating or editing points of a path or segments within an object. Then we move down to the pen tool, which is used to make either straight lines or curved lines, and the various shape tools, such as the rectangle tool, the rounded rectangle tool, the ellipse tool. To access these, you can hold down the rectangle tool and you'll get a submenu. Most tools you can hold down to reveal additional tools which expand out of those menus. The brush and pen tools are more commonly used with the drawing tablet, so if you own a drawing tablet you might find yourself using these tools a lot more often. If you're just using a mouse and a keyboard, you might not be able to get the most out of these tools. So now we're just going to make a basic shape. I'm just going to select the rectangle tool, and to draw a shape you simply drag the left mouse button until you get the proportions that you want. Using the selection tool, you can drag the shape around, or if you hover over the corners, you can change the proportions of those. You can also drag these little handles, these circles in the corner, to round off the corners like so. At present, the rectangle is using the default fill color and default stroke color. So up here, we have the option for fill color, so I can change this to any color I want, and stroke color, so I can change the stroke, or border if you'd like to call it, to any color I want. As you see, if I click off that, you'll see the stroke is now a different color. You can increase the width of the stroke by selecting the object and increasing the width of the stroke. You can also change the style of the stroke here. You see that makes a different appearance to it. But I'm just going to turn that back to basic. and you can change the opacity of the whole object. An alternative way of changing the fill color or stroke color is to use the color options down here. So I can double click on the fill and choose a different fill color, and likewise I can double click on the stroke and choose a different stroke color. You can also choose to make the stroke invisible, or you can make the fill into a gradient with the object selected, like so, or you can choose the fill to be a solid color. So the direct selection tool allows you to manipulate the points on the shape. So if I select my shape again, I can click on each corner point and change the position of each point. So whereas the direct selection tool basically constrains the position of each point, but it changes the proportions, the direct selection tool allows you to actually move each of these points. Each of these paths can then be moved to change the shape itself. I'm just going to undo my changes, or use the shortcut key of Command Z on a Mac or Control Z on a PC until I'm back to my original shape. There we go. I'm also going to delete this rectangle, as I'm now going to show you the pen tool. So the pen tool is perhaps one of the most flexible and useful illustration tools within Illustrator. You can either simply click once to create a point for each corner of the shape, and this will give you automatic straight edges. If you join to your original point, you'll see the small circle symbol just at the bottom right of my cursor. That means that's your original point, and that will complete the shape. You have to complete the shape to be able to manipulate it. Alternatively, if you drag the pen tool, you create a curved point. So if I hold down the left mouse button and drag, this works in a clockwise motion. So the top point I'm dragging from left to right, the right hand side I'm dragging from top to bottom, the bottom I'm going from right to left, and the left hand side I'm going from bottom to top. So I'm following a clockwise motion when drawing a kind of ellipse type shape here. It looks more like a wonky egg, but there we go. And again, I can use the direct selection tool to then manipulate these points. So I can make that more into an egg shape. Let's go to the selection tool, make sure we have the shape selected, and choose a more egg-like color. There we go.